Hi, this is Ileana D'Cruz, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Ileana, welcome back on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you so much. So good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. I believe you are in US right now.
Yes, I'm in the States right now, and it's morning.
It's morning time. All right. So, how have you been?
Good. I've been good. I've been fortunate and lucky that I managed to get out and come here to see my family. I had a feeling the situation was going to get very bad in Bombay, so I decided to leave and come over and spend some time with them. So I've been lucky enough that I could do that, but it's so bad in Bombay right now. It's heartbreaking. It really
Not
is.
really Mumbai, but I think a lot of other parts.
A lot of the big cities, yes, from what I know of. Yeah, it's sad.
It is definitely sad. All right. So now, so what is your daily routine like?
What is my day like?
Yeah, these days.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's great being here. It's great being with my family, with my mom, trying to get her to not feed me like crazy, as all mothers do. But it's lovely, it's nice that I can step out and get some sunshine here. But it's been really good. It's sort of in a way an extension of how it is being on lockdown in Bombay. All my work is remote anyway, so I get to do my meetings online and I do my readings and stuff. So it's interesting, but I get to spend more time with the family, so that's definitely a bonus.
That is definitely all right, and most importantly, you're safe right now.
Yes.
All right. So now you just had a release in the big world.
Yes.
And you're happy with the response to it?
Fairly pleased. Yeah. I mean, there's been some lovely messages from some people, and I seem to cherish a lot more the messages that come from my friends because they know they're not biased. And they're very honest. So it was really nice to get some messages about my work. So it's always nice that people appreciate the work that you put in.
Now, I was reading one of your interviews, and you've said that maybe you are not very happy with the way your career has shaped up. You feel that you could have done a lot more, and you would want to do a lot more.
That's true. It is.
Right.
I feel like I could have done a lot more. And I want to do a lot more. I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's literally that I want to do a lot more. So it's never too late. And I'm pushing at it and trying to do the best that I possibly can right now. So, yeah.
But if you look in the hindsight, you've been part of some really big films, especially around the South. And you are, I think, one of the most sought out actresses that we've had, especially in South. You've done some really good work in Hindi as well. So, do you at times feel that you tend to be a bit harsh on yourself?
I am. I'm incredibly harsh on myself. And I kind of like it that way. I feel it pushes me to do better. So, I mean, every time I work on films, I work with some people who have been really nice. In the last couple of films I did, I worked with some really nice directors who told me that I need to be doing a lot more work. They're like, why aren't you doing more work? And it's like, I feel like I'm doing enough. And they're like, no, you're not. And then I'm doing, interviews with some people, and I've spoken to journalists, and they said, you should be doing a lot more. And I said, maybe I really should. So I feel that I did a lot of work in the South. I really did. I didn't do as much in Bollywood. And I don't know the reason why I didn't. I mean, there could have been many reasons at the time, but I feel that I was holding back a lot, and I just don't want to anymore.
Right. So why do you feel that you were holding back?
I think I was just unsure. I was unsure of myself. I was unsure of making a mistake or doing the wrong film. And it's something that I didn't really think too much about when I was working in the South. Like, I just worked. I just did so many films, and some were great and some were not as good. But I think the difference was in Bollywood, I was just afraid that, I can't make a mistake. So I was probably afraid of that, but no, I don't want to think like that anymore. I don't want to hold back anymore. So yeah, I want to experiment. I want to maybe take a little more risk in the choices I make.
Of course, in Bollywood, you started off with Barfi, which became like a classic. People still talk about it. And
Mhm.
but from what I read, certain films maybe you're not happy with. Okay, and now is it the Scorpion side of you that Scorpios, they tend to be very harsh on themselves. They expect a lot from themselves, and it is always good.
It's possible. It really is. It actually is. I didn't think about it that way, but it makes a lot of sense now that you're saying it. Yes, very critical, very, very hard on myself. I never feel like anything is good enough. And sometimes I feel that's a good trait to have, as an actor, because you're constantly pushing to get better, constantly pushing to do better and be a better actor. And there's always scope for improvement. So I'm okay with it.
All right, now, and I believe in 2017, you had certain, I think, body dysmorphia issues as well. You're not happy with the way you look and with your physical appearance as well, but you worked on it, and now you're very comfortable. And I believe you posted a picture in 2020 October and stating that you're comfortable with the way you look. I think you've always, it's very difficult to say that. You've been around since 2006, but you look really good. So, as far as taking care of your part is something that you've done it really well. But why did you have those thoughts that somehow you're not physically perfect for the way your appearance is?
I think there's a lot of factors when it comes to, body dysmorphia. Everyone has a different experience, people who have experienced body dysmorphia, I suppose. When it comes to me, I think it was a lot of peer pressure. So I grew up when I was in my teens, the most sort of damaging time of, puberty or whatever you want to call it. Your growing up years, I was criticized a lot for my body shape. So it caused me to have like a little bit of a complex, like, oh, is this not okay? Is this not normal? Do I not have a normal body? So it made me question a lot about myself. And growing up, I didn't really have, the typical, or there's no such thing even as a typical body, but it was just very strange. I was made to believe that my body was very different. So it was always like, oh, but why are your legs like that, or why are your hips like that? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just the way I am. So it, I think, caused a little bit of a complex. So it somehow stayed. It sort of scars you, I suppose, and it stays with you. And I didn't realize it was dysmorphia till I spoke to my therapist. And she told me that, she's like, it's not a number on the scale, because I was telling her like, oh, when I hit this level on the weighing scale, I'll be happy. And she's like, it's not that, it's dysmorphia. And it's like, you might even hit that number and you won't be happy. So you just need to make peace with who you are, and it's okay. So over time, I've just started to relax, and take it a little easier on myself. So, and I feel a lot better. So it's a work in progress. It takes time. Some days are great, some days are not so great.
All right, and even with social media, you have certain viewpoint in terms of the way people maybe they perceive you and the way you would want to be perceived. Now you're more open in terms of expressing yourself on social media, especially Instagram. Apparently,
Mhm.
your Twitter account was hacked recently, and I'm sure that must have been an experience.
I am really not sure whether it was even hacked right now, because there was some sort of unusual activity. It kept telling me there's unusual activity on your account, and it wouldn't let me sign in. So I assumed it was hacked. So as a precautionary, sort of measure, I put up a message on Instagram, but I've gained access back into it. So I'm back on it. Um, I think it did take me a while again, because I still sort of hesitate sometimes from saying things on social media, because sometimes people just take it the wrong way, and they can take something that's not even, that probably didn't even cross your mind when you were writing it, and they were like, oh, is this what you meant? And I'm like, no, this is absolutely not what I meant. But it's so easy to affect people, and people are really touchy and very overly sensitive, I feel. So I'm a lot more open on social media, but I still refrain from certain things. Like, I will not talk about things that I don't have complete knowledge about. So I will not get involved in pressing matters politically or other issues, because I'm like, it's not my place. I I may be a public figure, but I don't have the education to back up my claims on this. So I probably shouldn't say anything. So I think as far as that's concerned, I'd stay away. But sometimes I do let impulse get the better of me and I say things.
People expect cinema stars that they'll be constantly happy, that they should be always smiling and chirpy, and they should always look great. And whenever, if at all, you come across them at various public places, they should be cordial with you at all points of time. This expectation of being perfect in a way, does that bother a movie star? Does that impact at times that there will be times when I may not be functioning the way you would want me to function?
Absolutely. I think I was a bit harsh on myself as well because, sometimes you get photographed and you're not in the best headspace or you're just not prepared for it and it's caught you off guard and it's a really bad photo. So I've been really hard on myself and I was like, oh my God, what were you thinking? And why did you wear that? But I've realized that, we're human and you're going to have moments where you're just caught off guard and it's okay. The one thing I have been more mindful of is exactly what you said. Like, when people come up to you and sometimes you just don't want to talk to somebody, or you're just, you're going through something, or you're upset about something else. And last thing you want to do is have a nice, friendly conversation with a stranger. So I've been a little more mindful because for me, it's a passing meeting with somebody, but to that person, it's something that they probably remember for a while. And the last thing I would want to do is, upset someone just because I was having a really bad day. Because I mean, I've been there as well. I've met some really amazing film stars, and I just wanted to go and say hi or something like that, and they probably didn't want to talk to me. So I know the feeling, and I'm a lot more mindful of that now. I try and be as nice as I can be, and if I have been, rude, it's probably because something was really on my mind. But yeah, I try to be a little more mindful. It comes with the job, you've got to deal with it.
Okay, now what is the importance of sense of humor?
Oh, it's so important. You gotta you've gotta not take life so seriously, and you just gotta ease up a little bit. I think a sense of humor is very, very important.
You have openly discussed about the fact that you saw a therapist for body dysmorphia. Now, many times in India, we have these notions about acknowledging the fact that maybe anyone can possibly consult maybe a therapist for certain issues that one can possibly be having. The fact is that it should be ideally very normal, and it is a normal thing to seek help. If there is something that is bothering you, it can be physical, it can be going across in your mind space. Why is it important to not really make certain things taboo, so as to ease up life in a way?
I feel you have one life, and if you're going to try and live it, based on how the world perceives you, or tiptoeing around everybody else's emotions and feelings, you're not living it to the fullest. It's your life, and so long as you're not disrespecting someone or hurting somebody else, you do what's good for you. And I saw a therapist because I felt I needed to. And initially, when I first went to her, I didn't really think I needed it. And I said, oh, I'm going to prove that person wrong. I don't need a therapist. And it was absolute nonsense because I genuinely needed the help. So it's not taboo to ask for help. And it's not wrong to break down, to cry, to just lose it every now and again. It's all right. It's normal. It's human. So I feel like a lot of things need to be, eased up on. We need to normalize talking about so many things, not just mental health. There's a lot that we tend to sweep under the rug, and I just feel that it's not benefiting anybody by doing that. So I think we'd be a lot more sensitive, a lot healthier if we just open conversation a lot more, and just listen a lot more to other people.
With regards to your attempts to just do something about your career, I believe there are reports that you're doing Rudra with Ajay Devgn. Are you part of Rudra, the web series?
No, no. I have no idea about this.
Because there are some reports that you'll be featuring in Rudra, which is having a query.
No, I actually have been so out of it because I literally just woke up here. I have no idea.
All right, but
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't signed anything.
all right. So what is it? What is it that you're planning to do in terms of doing the sort of work that you would want to do, and maybe would you want to approach certain people, and because many a times people tend to do that in terms of that, approaching people that maybe this is something that I want to do, or maybe West Hollywood.
There's lots of opportunities. Honestly, there's stuff I want to do in Hollywood for sure. I'd love to. I'm trying to experiment in different kinds of films. Not just your typical heroine, who's got the hero and there's the love interest and there's the little bit of a triangle. Just want to try a different kind of story. So there's a film that I most likely will be signing on, and we should announce it soon. And I'm very excited about it. And it's very unusual. And it's not something I thought I would have done, maybe a couple of years ago. But it's something that I'm very interested in. So I'm definitely looking at different stories as far as films are concerned, and OTT for sure. I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting onto that, but with the right kind of story again. So let's see. I mean, possibilities are limitless, really.
If we can possibly rewind back to when you started off your journey down south, how do you look back, and what are the special memories that you have, and the special films that you're a part of?
There's so many films. I mean, for me, the most iconic would be my first film, because I went into it just blundering my way through. I didn't know anything about acting, or I even told the director, I remember telling him, I said, I can't act, I can't dance, I can't even speak your language. Are you really sure you want to do this? And he said, yes, of course. He's like, I know what I'm doing, don't worry. So I mean, he trusted me completely, and I trusted him. So, and he gave me a film that did, immensely well. So that was definitely iconic. It was a saga. There was so much that I went through emotionally on that film. It was a whole roller coaster of emotions. But it basically sort of set the ball rolling for me. And there were a few films that really stood out. Kick, for sure, stood out for me. It was one of my most favorite films to work on. I had the best time. And I think somehow that related, in the performances that we put in. Jalsa was a film that was very close to me as well. I loved the story, and it was really lovely working with all of them. Pokeri was, again, a very iconic film, but it was just my second film, and I was, again, very shy, and I didn't know what I was doing through most of the process. But I made a really good friend in Puri when I did that film, and we went on to do 2 other films after that. So there's been a lot of really, really good films. I mean, off the top of my head, this is what really stands out for me. But it was a really great experience working there. It was very enriching, very educational, I suppose. I learned so much. I learned so much about films, about everything. So I think it really set me up for Bollywood.
Many times when we're having conversations with various stakeholders, both down south and even in Mumbai, the general perception is, and the opinion is, that the work that is being done down south, I think maybe it's far more superior when it comes to technology, when it comes to writing. They're coming up with maybe lot many more original ideas, and which are very interesting. Be it Telugu, Malayalam, I think, is doing some amazing work. Tamil is doing some really classy work. Even Kannada, the way KGF 2, the way it is has been mounted, it's looking something else. So, what is your honest opinion? Do you feel that maybe the work ethics, the respect that the artists get, the writing and the technology, maybe it is better down south?
I mean, I don't like to generalize, really. I feel like there's been some great work down south, But I also feel there's been some great work in Bollywood. I can only sort of, I mean, I can maybe put it to my experiences. Like, I've done some great work in the South. I've done some great films, been part of some amazing films in the South. But I've also been part of some really good films in Bollywood. Like a Barfi was iconic for me. It was a great film. It was a very unusual film, unusual story. Raid as well was a very different film. Badshaho. I've been a part of some really good films, Rustam as well. So I feel that I think it's a mix of both. But I definitely feel the work, like you're saying, the work ethic, they're very punctual in the South. Like if they say they're going to start rolling at 7 a.m., they will start rolling at 7 a.m. You have the generator there at 5:30, and they bang on time. So you have your lunch break on time, you have your pack up time on time. It's all systematic. So that somehow is like clockwork. So I think if there's one thing that Bollywood should sort of, adapt from there, should be the punctuality and their time management. They're very good with time.
And now, when it comes to the selection of scripts, maybe from here on, now individually, when what we've known you as a person, you come across as someone who's very individualistic. You have your point of view. There's a certain way, the way you would want to be treated as well. When it comes to the choice of films as well, is that something on your mind? Doing certain roles which are women oriented in a way, which are roles that are taking forward the concerns of women from the way they look at it many a times. Because many a times we have these hero-oriented films which are like larger than life and action and all that, and actresses, they don't have that much to do in them the way they can possibly be having in certain films, which can showcase their individuality in many ways. Is that something that you would want to explore consciously?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think so. While I do like doing films like that, where I can sort of tap into into roles that I can relate to, that are powerful, that are strong, that in a way maybe empower other women. I would love to do something like that, and I do like doing something like that. And I feel that this next film that I'm doing with Randeep, Unfair and Lovely, is somewhere like that. It's a beautiful story. She's a very I mean, we won't get into the details of it, but it's a lovely role. I could definitely relate to it. At the same time, I feel that there's a little bit of pressure that comes on, and there's this expectation that people have that, oh, you need to do roles like this, and it's like a moral duty. While I agree, certain films, yes, could have that. Films at the end of the day are an entertainment sort of package. You're meant to entertain the audience. So more often than not, I'm not going to be thinking about a moral compass. I'm here to entertain you and package a nice fun film. So it doesn't necessarily mean that I I agree with being the damsel in distress, but sometimes it's nice to play a film that's just kind of quintessential fairy tale. So I think it's a balance of both. I like doing them both in a way, as strange as it may sound.
Turning a producer, turning a director, does that excite you? Do you want to produce certain content of your own?
No. No, I don't even know how to get into production and what goes on and how to really be just to do it. So I think I would need a lot more sort of background into that before I even think about doing something like that. Right now, I'm just happy doing the acting part of it and pushing myself in different sort of projects. But yeah, definitely don't see myself doing. I think if I became a director, it would be bonkers. It would take me forever to do the film because I'm so particular about so many things. I don't think I would ever finish.
Ileana, we'll end this interview with rapid fire with you.
Oh.
All right. So, one common quality between Meera Rao and you?
Stubborn.
Stubborn. All right. One thing that is unfortunately lacking a lot in today's journalism?
Sensitivity.
What is the stupidest question a journalist has asked you? There have been quite a few, I believe.
There have been a few. There really have been a few. I tend to wipe them out from my memory, so nothing's really coming to mind, but there has been a few for sure. Uh, there's been a few. Nothing's coming to mind right now, but yeah.
No problem. What, according to you, is your best performance so far in Hindi films?
Barfi.
What role played by any Bollywood actress would you call a dream role?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't want to say a role per se. Oh, God, that's a good question. Damn, it's so hard to pick one. I'm weirdly just gravitating towards Sanjay Leela Bhansali and maybe Leela. Deepika, when she played Leela, that was beautiful.
You'd want to be presented in a Sanjay Bhansali movie, like all the sari and ornaments and grandeur.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, that's interesting.
Why not? I think he's absolutely amazing. I'd love to work with him.
So after working for so many years in various industries, what one achievement you are still working towards?
Time management. Maybe manage my time better so I could do more work.
Okay, if you could introduce any one rule in the entertainment industry, what would that be?
You have some great questions there. Wow. Real thinkers. They're not rapid fire questions, they're real thinkers.
We say rapid fire.
Inclusion. Yeah, but inclusion, I would say, like a lot more inclusion.
That's a good one.
Make it more approachable.
In one word, how would you sum up the social media?
Brutal.
All right, that makes sense. A fake news about you that made you laugh out loud.
There's been a few. There was one where apparently I was pregnant and I had an abortion, it's kind of sad, honestly, that people actually wrote stuff like that. It was like bizarre. There was another that I had committed suicide, not attempted. Very sad. I had committed suicide, but I had survived, and my maid had confirmed the news. I didn't have a maid. I didn't attempt suicide. I was alive, but it didn't make any sense. Yeah. I don't even know where they get stuff like that.
If you were a journalist, what question would you ask to following people? Okay, Abhishek Bachchan. If you have to ask the question to Abhishek Bachchan.
Why do you have so many sweatshirts?
Ranbir Kapoor.
Oh man, there's a lot of questions I'd ask that man. How are you so unaffected by everything?
It's like a Zen quality that he has.
Yep, it's amazing.
Alia Bhatt.
Who would ask Alia? How is she always so chirpy?
Okay.
She's always chirpy, actually. I think about her as this little sunshine kid.
Okay, if you had to ask a question to Priyanka.
Oh my God, do you ever sleep?
Okay.
I always ask her that. Do you ever sleep?
Complete the following sentences, please. The best compliment that I received for my performance in The Big Bull was that?
From a journalist, actually. And she said she loved how I portrayed journalism, female journalists on screen. It was very realistic.
Right. The entire cross-questioning of Abhishek was pretty interesting. Okay. When I was aspiring to be an actress, the 3 co-stars on my wish list were?
So never really aspired, but when I got to Bollywood, definitely wanted to work with Shah Rukh, Mr. Bachchan, and Rekha ji. Unusually.
No, it's an interesting choice. A South film of mine I'd want to act in a Hindi remake of is?
There's been so many of my films that I've done that have been done in Hindi.
Pokri has been done. Kick has been done.
Pokri's Kick has been done. I actually would like Jalsa to be remade. It's a really lovely film. So yeah.
No gym for a year, yeah, no Instagram for a year.
No gym for a year because I can work out at home.
Okay.
I've done that for a year.
Ajay Devgn or Akshay Kumar, who's funnier on the sets?
Ajay's got some really funny stories, but Akshay plays a lot of pranks, so kind of the same.
Shahid in Pata Poster Nikla Hero or Varun in Main Tera Hero? Who's more stylish?
Varun and Main Tera Hero.
Mahesh Babu or Pawan Kalyan, the better actor?
They're both really good. Very different styles of acting. They're both really good.
Kick या ननबन, your favorite?
Kick.
मैं रंग शरबतों का या इतनी सी हंसी?
मैं रंग शरबतों का.
To make audience cry या to make audience laugh? What's easier for you as an actor?
To make them cry.
That's easier.
Yeah, making people laugh is not that easy.
It's tough. That's what a lot of people say. That's what a lot of actors say, that it's the toughest genre to make people laugh. It's the toughest genre.
But apparently I can make people cry.
Okay. That's okay. So, Ileana, lovely talking to you. Thank you very much for your time. Good morning to you.
It was great talking. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Looking forward to many more gems from you in the future. And all the best wishes. Thank you very much.
Yes, stay safe.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Hi, this is Ileana D'Cruz, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.